So recently, a YouTuber named A Shield for Men announced he's going to take a break from men's rights. He said he's tired of the lack of male solidarity or solidarity among men. Honestly, I feel for the guy and I wish him well. He is the part of the current pro-male collective and in my humble opinion the best active content creator in that lineup. I believe it is important to recognize the good work of individuals regardless of whether they are the part of Pro-Male Collective, Pro-Male International, Marxist Revolutionaries, NCFM, AVFM, or any other group. Shield sets the benchmark of what men's rights content should look like. Subscribe to him and support him if you haven't done so already. I've noticed that in many right-wing spaces, even those where self-proclaimed MRAs hang out, people tend to parrot feminist propaganda, especially when it targets non-white men. For example, the narrative that Indian men are raping women en masse. Look, I get it. Many men have internalized political propaganda from both the left and the right, as well as from mainstream media. But do not call yourself a male advocate if you aren't willing to question that propaganda. Men's rights must stand for the rights of all men and boys, regardless of color, creed, nationality, sexual orientation, or anything else. With labels like MRA or pro-male comes responsibility. You are claiming to be a spokesperson for all these men and boys, for the downtrodden, the marginalized, and the oppressed. You have a duty to act in their interest, even if they themselves don't yet see what that interest is. Labeling yourself as an MRA or pro-male while throwing other men under the bus is a disservice to the cause you claim to represent. Your job is to question the everyday bull. Now, I also want to talk about cog blocking, both in male spaces and on YouTube. Years ago, an earlier version of the Pro-Male Collective started a petition and campaign targeting Amazon for selling t-shirts with the slogan, "Boys are stupid, throw rocks at them." Sadly, that campaign failed due to constant cog blocking from within male spaces. Too many men showed a staggering lack of support for boys, prioritizing free speech values over standing up to the big capital. The worst offenders were from the subreddit r/men's rights. Reddit has banned many male spaces, including r/MGTOW, r/incels, and r/pro-male collective. But r/men's rights, the biggest men's rights subreddit, is still around. Why? Because it's fucking useless, that's why. Reddit wants to appear like a free, unbiased platform, but in reality it only bans certain types of feminists, mostly those seen as quote-unquote radical or quote-unquote trans-exclusionary, and male spaces deemed hateful. Mainstream feminist content stays untouched. That's what I saw during my time there. r/men's rights has a huge follower count, but it's like having a big, let's just say tool that doesn't do anything. The subreddit is disorganized and the moderators actively censor MRAs who are vocal critics of feminism or who make generalizations about women that they do not like. The sad truth is men don't get real support from women in this fight. If they did, there wouldn't be forced chopping of infant genitals or male-only conscription. Many women treat men like their shoes, wear them when they're good, then toss them aside once the heels break and they are no longer useful. Understanding this harsh reality is crucial for organizing effective men's rights activism. Unfortunately, that subreddit is run by traditional conservatives, marriage reformists specifically, who want to hijack men's rights and steer it towards fixing the institution of marriage instead of challenging it. Their obsession with so-called saving marriage takes precedence over fight for men. The moment real male advocacy threatens their hopes of being accepted by women or getting a wife, they pull the brakes and derail everything. This is why men's rights advocates like Blue Orange end up tone policing hardcore MRAs, telling them to be polite to feminists, to avoid rocking the boat, despite the fact that the hardcore base is the engine of any movement that actually gets shit done. This is why Paul Elam, who called himself an atheist for years, suddenly started pandering to Christian conservatives. Being in a long-term relationship with a Christian woman made it hard for him to separate men's rights from religious politics. So hard, even late-stage boomerism couldn't fix it. The point is, MRAs are still men, and a lot of them just can't get their mojo together enough to separate their personal relationships with women from male-centered activism. The need to be loved or approved by women keeps short-circuiting their ability to stand firm for other men. Getting back to the men's rights subreddit, everything I just outlined, from the lack of networking to hijacking and chasing away serious MRAs, is only part of the problem. The other part is that they actively refused to support smaller male advocacy spaces. They didn't allow cross posts, didn't promote campaigns, and made sure any rising group stayed small and isolated. The MRM, men's rights movement, isn't just one group. It's an umbrella term for a wide range of organizations and solo MRAs spread across the world, or across the disk if you ask flat earthers. Different countries, beliefs, attitudes, and backgrounds, different levels of affiliation too. That diversity makes cooperation even more important. Unlike the large, well-funded feminist movements like the National Organization for Women, the MRM is small and scattered. That makes cooperation and parallel organizing essential if we want to make any real progress. If there's any competition between MRM factions, it should be friendly. After all, sincere activists share the same goal: to make the world better for men and boys. Looking at it that way, r/men's rights obsession with flaunting its large but useless membership and blocking the growth of other male spaces to avoid competition shows a lack of understanding of mutual goals and friendly rivalry. Spaces that refuse to cooperate, like how r/men's rights sabotage the Amazon campaign, and that don't promote others growing strong enough to finish the fight, aren't assets to men's rights. Instead, they're perfect smokescreens on misandric platforms like Reddit. And Reddit isn't the only corporation making online male activism a headache. My recent return to YouTube made it crystal clear how unfriendly the platform has become, especially toward small creators. I'm not even surprised anymore that channels with 4,000 subscribers barely get 200 or 300 views, and it's no wonder creators like John the Other have stopped uploading altogether. Right now, I can't post functional links in the video descriptions and pin comments. I cannot post the functional links of my own YouTube videos in the comments, connect shorts to full videos, or even share non-YouTube links in my community posts. These are basic functions essential for channel growth, and yet they're completely locked out of for small creators like me. Meanwhile, YouTube keeps advertising all the ways to grow your channel like it's a joke. And just to be clear, this isn't even the full list of features I'm missing, just the most important ones. To unlock those features, YouTube gives me 3 options. Send a video of my clearly visible face for 6 seconds. upload a photo of my ID or slowly build a channel history. I went with the third option because the first two are straight up self-doxing, handing over personal data just to access basic tools. Choosing the slower route likely means extended verification and closer monitoring of my activity, and who knows how deep that monitoring goes, especially with everything tied into Google. Bottom line, YouTube doesn't want small creators who speak freely. If you're not a grifter dancing under their corporate thumb, they'd rather see you gone. It's frustrating trying to do real activism online when men keep flocking to grifters like Andrew Tate, ignoring creators who actually care and dive deep into male issues. Some accept donations, others refuse to monetize at all, but they're all in it for the cause, not to sell out. That's exact opposite of Tate, who just packages masculinity into something flashy and hollow. YouTube channels aren't just content, they're communities. Each one brings together people with shared concerns, goals, and experiences. Channels like A Shield for Men and mine are about building something real, a space where men can connect, organize, and move with purpose. What we're up against isn't just internal cock blocking from within men's rights space. It's also platforms and corporations that barely tolerate our existence. The support they offer is flimsy at best and can disappear overnight. We in the men's rights community, though we belong to different independent movements, must act with a shared purpose. Our approaches may differ, but our future cannot depend on platforms we don't control. It's time to build something offline, something real, a foundation for our movements that no corporation can shut down.
Aí, já vi. Tem doido pra tudo mesmo, ó. Quer ver? Ah, filho da boba. Menino. Quer ver? Quebra o outro. Esse vai. Esse mais são os braços de ferro. Tá? Quer ver? Agora vai. Aí. Vai quebrar meu chifre. Vai.